A. Grantee is the keeper and reader of the scriptures in which religion? Sikhism. In Sikhism, a grantee is a religious official responsible for the care and reading of the Guru Granth Sahib, the Holy Scripture. They lead worship services, recite sacred hymns, and deliver sermons in gurdwaras, serving as a spiritual guide for the congregation. Who served as the last state president of apartheid South Africa, taking office in August 1989? F. W. de Klerk. F. W. de Klerk was the last president of apartheid-era South Africa, serving from 1989 to 1994. He played a pivotal role in dismantling apartheid and negotiating the transition to a multiracial democracy, notably by releasing Nelson Mandela from prison and unbanning political parties. In medicine, what is the rare genetic syndrome in children characterized by physical symptoms suggesting premature aging? Progeria. Progeria, specifically Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome, HGPS, is an extremely rare, fatal genetic condition characterized by the dramatic, rapid appearance of aging starting in childhood. It is caused by a mutation in the LMNA gene, leading to premature cardiovascular disease and other age-related conditions. What was the name of the pioneering teletext information service launched by the BBC in September 1974? Ceefax. Ceefax was the world's first teletext service, launched by the BBC in 1974. It provided news, weather, sports, and other information accessible via television sets, serving as an early form of digital information delivery before the widespread adoption of the Internet. What type of marine creature is a capellan? Fish. A capellan, Malatus viosus, is a small forage fish belonging to the smelt family, Osmeridae. They are found in the North Atlantic, North Pacific, and Arctic oceans, playing a crucial role in marine ecosystems as a food source for larger fish, seabirds, and marine mammals. What was the religious affiliation of former U.S. President Richard Nixon? Quaker. Richard Nixon, the 37th President of the United States, was a member of the Religious Society of Friends, Quakers. His Quaker upbringing, emphasizing peace, pacifism, and public service, influenced his early life and career, despite his later political actions sometimes seeming to diverge from these principles. Oskerry, Burry, and Carver are constituent islands of which Scottish archipelago? Orkney Islands. Oskerry, Burry, and Carver are smaller islands within the Orkney Islands archipelago, located off the northeastern coast of Scotland. The Orkney Islands are renowned for their rich Neolithic history, dramatic landscapes, and significant wildlife. Puck Bay is a shallow bay situated off the coast of which European country? Poland. Puck Bay is a shallow inlet of the Baltic Sea, forming a part of the Bay of Gdansk, located off the coast of Poland. It is known for its relatively calm waters, making it suitable for water sports and is an important ecological area. Rikki Tikki Tavi, the mongoose from The Jungle Book, is a creation of which renowned author? Rudyard Kipling. Rikki Tikki Tavi is a brave young mongoose and the protagonist of one of Rudyard Kipling's most famous short stories, part of The Jungle Book collection. Kipling, a Nobel laureate, is celebrated for his vivid storytelling and contributions to children's literature and poetry. What was the nickname of American Civil War General Thomas Jackson? Stonewall Jackson. Thomas Jonathan Stonewall Jackson was a Confederate general during the American Civil War, known for his tactical prowess. His nickname originated from the First Battle of Bull Run, Manassas, in 1861, where he and his brigade stood firm, like a stone wall, against Union attacks. In the NATO phonetic alphabet, what word represents the letter U? Uniform. The NATO phonetic alphabet, or International Radiotelephony Spelling Alphabet, is a widely used spelling alphabet. It is used to ensure clarity in voice communication by assigning distinct code words to letters, particularly in situations with background noise or language barriers, like in aviation and military operations. Which Afro-Caribbean religion is also known as the rule of Osha? Santeria. Santeria is an Afro-Caribbean religion originating in Cuba, developed from a blend of West African Yoruba traditions and Roman Catholic beliefs. It is also known as La Regla de Ocha, or the rule of Osha, referring to its veneration of rishas, deities, and its structured system of spiritual practices. What type of creature is a remora? Fish. A remora is a type of ray-finned fish known for its unique disc-like sucker organ on its head. This organ allows it to attach to larger marine animals like sharks, whales, and turtles, hitching a ride and feeding on leftover food scraps, while causing no harm to its host. Who was President of France from 1969 to 1974? Georges Pompidou. Georges Pompidou served as the President of France from 1969 until his death in 1974. A member of the Gaullist Party, his presidency saw significant modernization and industrial development, and he continued the strong executive leadership established by his predecessor, Charles de Gaulle. The Macroplaza, or Le Grand Plaza, one of the largest plazas in the world, is located in which Mexican city? Monterrey. The Macroplaza, also known as Le Grand Plaza, is a sprawling urban park and public square in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. Covering an area of 400,000 square meters, 98 acres, it is one of the largest plazas in the world and features various monuments, green areas, and historical buildings. Nyctophobia is the extreme fear of what? Night or darkness. Nyctophobia is the specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of night or darkness. It is an anxiety disorder that can significantly impact an individual's daily life, often leading to avoidance behaviors and distress. How many English kings feature in the titles of Shakespeare plays? 8. 8 English kings feature in the titles of Shakespeare's historical plays, including Richard II, Henry IV, Parts 1 and 2, Henry V, Henry VI, Parts 1, 2, and 3, and Richard III. These plays are significant works of historical drama that explore themes of power, succession, and governance. How many old pennies were in a guinea? 252. A guinea was an old British coin, originally worth £1 sterling or 20 shillings. Before decimalisation in 1971, there were 240 pennies in a pound, 12 pence per shilling, 20 shillings per pound, making a guinea equivalent to 21 shillings or 252 old pennies. Which English monarch created the national debt? King William III. King William III is credited with establishing the national debt of Great Britain following the Glorious Revolution of 1688. This was done to finance the costly 9 Years' War against France, leading to the creation of the Bank of England in 1694 and the formalization of government borrowing. Which was the first state in the US to ban smoking in public places? California. California became the first US state to implement a statewide ban on smoking in all indoor workplaces, including bars and restaurants, in 1998. This landmark legislation significantly influenced public health policy and led to similar bans being adopted across other states and countries. What is the name of the world's first test tube baby, born on the 25th of July 1978 in Manchester, England? Louise Joy Brown. Louise Joy Brown holds the distinction of being the world's first test tube baby, born through in vitro fertilization, IVF, on July 25, 1978. Her birth marked a groundbreaking milestone in reproductive medicine, offering new hope for couples struggling with infertility. In 2012, which film director became the first solo diver to reach the bottom of the Mariana Trench in a submarine? James Cameron. In 2012, film director James Cameron successfully completed the deepest solo dive in history, reaching the Challenger Deep, the deepest point of the Mariana Trench. Piloting the deep-sea submersible Deep-Sea Challenger, he collected scientific data and samples, advancing our understanding of abyssal marine life and geology. The Nanpo Bridge is in which Chinese city? Shanghai. The Nanpo Bridge is a prominent cable-stayed bridge located in Shanghai, China, crossing the Huangpu River. Opened in 1991, it is a crucial part of the city's infrastructure, known for its distinctive spiral approaches on the Puxi side which efficiently manage traffic flow in a limited space. In humans, in which part of the body is the soleus muscle located? Calf, leg. The soleus muscle is a powerful muscle located in the superficial posterior compartment of the leg. It runs from just below the knee to the heel and plays a crucial role in standing and walking, specifically in plantarflexion of the foot. What is the term for the second full moon occurring within a single calendar month? Blue moon. A blue moon is an astronomical term for the second full moon in a calendar month, which typically has only one. This phenomenon occurs approximately every 2 to 3 years due to the lunar cycle being slightly shorter than the average calendar month. Which explorer used the ships Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria for his voyage to the New World? Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus embarked on his first transatlantic voyage in 1492, famously sailing with 3 ships, the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. This expedition led to his arrival in the Americas, marking a pivotal moment in global history and the age of discovery. How many compartments does a cow's stomach have? 4. Cows are ruminant animals, meaning they have a specialized digestive system with a 4-compartment stomach. These compartments, rumen, reticulum, omasum, and abomasum, facilitate the digestion of fibrous plant material through fermentation. In humans, what is the name of the front cutting teeth? Incisors. Incisors are the 8 teeth located at the front of the human mouth, 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. Their primary function is to cut and shear food into smaller, manageable pieces for further chewing and digestion. Which King of England was known as the Unready? Ethelred II. Ethelred II, also known as Ethelred the Unready, reigned as King of England from 978 to 1016. His epithet, unready, derives from the Old English word, raed, meaning counsel, implying he was ill-advised or lacked good counsel. What is the longest river in North America? Missouri River. The Missouri River is the longest river in North America, flowing approximately 2,341 miles, 3,767 kilometers, from its source in southwestern Montana to its confluence with the Mississippi River near St. Louis, Missouri. It plays a crucial role in the hydrology and ecosystems of the central United States. What is the highest prime number between 1 and 100? 97. A prime number is a natural number greater than 1 that has no positive divisors other than 1 and itself. To find the highest prime number between 1 and 100, one can systematically test numbers, and 97 is found to be divisible only by 1 and 97, making it the largest prime within that range. How many grams in half a kilo? 500. The metric system defines a kilogram, as the base unit of mass, equivalent to 1000 grams, g. Therefore, half a kilogram would be half of 1000 grams, which equals 500 grams. This conversion is a fundamental concept in basic measurement and arithmetic. What was the first name of the sister of British monarch Queen Elizabeth II? Margaret. Princess Margaret, Countess of Snowdon, was the only sibling of Queen Elizabeth II. She was known for her vivacious personality and strong interest in the arts, maintaining a prominent public profile throughout her life. What type of animal is a sitatunga? An antelope. The sitatunga, Tragelaphus speci, is a semi-aquatic antelope native to the swamps and marshlands of Central Africa. It is adapted to its wetland habitat with splayed, elongated hooves that prevent it from sinking into soft ground. Which food crop is affected by Panama disease? Bananas. Panama disease, or Fusarium wilt of banana, is a devastating fungal disease caused by Fusarium oxysporum F. sp. cubens. It poses a significant threat to global banana production, particularly for the Cavendish variety, leading to widespread economic losses. Which flower is also known as the Lent lily? Narcissus, wild daffodil. The common daffodil, scientifically classified as Narcissus pseudonarcissus, is widely known as the Lent lily, due to its characteristic blooming period during early spring, often coinciding with the Christian season of Lent. These vibrant yellow flowers are native to Western Europe and are a traditional symbol of spring and rebirth. Which English poet declined the post of Poet Laureate in 1757? Thomas Gray. Thomas Gray, a prominent English poet known for his elegy written in a country churchyard, famously declined the offer of Poet Laureate in 1757. The role was subsequently offered to William Whitehead. Gray preferred his independence and academic life at Cambridge. What is the most frequently rolled number with two standard dice? 7. When two standard six-sided dice are rolled, there are 36 possible outcomes. The sum of 7 can be achieved in 6 ways: 1 plus 6, 2 plus 5, 3 plus 4, 4 plus 3, 5 plus 2, 6 plus 1, which is more than any other sum, making it the most probable outcome. Who wrote the 1856 novel, Madame Bovary? Gustave Flaubert. Gustave Flaubert, a prominent French novelist, penned Madame Bovary in 1856. This realist novel is renowned for its detailed portrayal of provincial life and its critique of bourgeois values, marking it as a significant work in literary history. A sauger is what type of creature? Fish. A sauger, Sander canadensis, is a freshwater ray-finned fish belonging to the perch family, native to North America. It is closely related to the walleye and is often sought after for sport fishing. In humans, episcleritis affects which part of the body? Eye. Episcleritis is a benign, self-limiting inflammatory condition affecting the episclera, the thin layer of tissue between the conjunctiva and the sclera in the eye. It typically presents with redness and irritation in one or both eyes. In which year did seatbelt use for drivers become mandatory in the UK? 1983. The United Kingdom made the wearing of seatbelts mandatory for drivers and front seat passengers in 1983. This legislative change followed extensive campaigning and research demonstrating the significant effectiveness of seatbelts in reducing serious injuries and fatalities in road accidents, thereby enhancing public safety. The Mukpunvat caves are located in which African country? South Africa. The Mukpunvat caves are renowned archaeological and paleontological sites situated in the Limpopo province of South Africa. These caves are famous for their fossil deposits, which include early hominin remains and evidence of early human activity, providing crucial insights into human evolution. Raleigh is the capital city of which American state? North Carolina. Raleigh is the capital city of North Carolina, a state located in the southeastern region of the United States. Known as the City of Oaks, due to its abundance of oak trees, Raleigh is a significant hub for technology and research, forming a key part of the larger Research Triangle Park area. In which century was the Kingdom of Great Britain formed? 18th century, 1707. The Kingdom of Great Britain was officially formed in the 18th century, specifically in 1707, through the Acts of Union. These parliamentary acts formally unified the Kingdom of England, which included Wales, and the Kingdom of Scotland into a single sovereign state under one parliament. What was the name of the tropical storm that intensified into a hurricane and struck the U.S. Gulf Coast in August 2012? Isaac. Hurricane Isaac was a significant tropical cyclone that made landfall on the U.S. Gulf Coast in August 2012. Originating as a tropical storm, it strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane, causing extensive flooding, power outages, and considerable damage across several states, particularly Louisiana and Mississippi. What is the official language of Iran? Persian. The official language of Iran is Persian, also widely known as Farsi. This Indo-Iranian language is predominantly spoken in Iran, Afghanistan, and Tajikistan, and is distinguished by its rich historical and literary tradition that spans over a millennium. In which year did Japan join the United Nations? 1956. Japan joined the United Nations in 1956, after the conclusion of World War II and the subsequent period of reconstruction. Its admission marked a significant step in its reintegration into the international community and its commitment to global peace and cooperation. Which U.S. president officially opened the Empire State Building in New York? Herbert Hoover. U.S. President Herbert Hoover officially opened the Empire State Building on May 1, 1931, by pressing a button from Washington, D.C., which lit up the building. This iconic skyscraper was completed during the Great Depression and symbolized American ingenuity and hope. What was the name of the first human space flight to land on the Moon, in July 1969? Apollo 11. Apollo 11 was the spaceflight that first landed humans on the Moon on July 20, 1969. Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin were the first two humans to walk on the lunar surface, marking a monumental achievement in space exploration and human history. Benjamin Disraeli was British Prime Minister during the reign of which monarch? Queen Victoria. Benjamin Disraeli, a prominent conservative statesman, served as British Prime Minister twice under Queen Victoria. His premierships coincided with a period of significant imperial expansion and domestic reforms, greatly influencing Victorian-era politics and the British Empire. Amarapura was the former capital of which country? Burma, Myanmar. Amarapura served as a historical capital of Burma, now Myanmar, during various periods, notably under the Konbaum dynasty. Located near Mandalay, it was an important royal city known for its Buddhist monasteries and traditional crafts before the capital was moved. In computing, what is the device that is plugged into a computer which serves as an adapter or to enable the use of certain software? Dongle. A dongle is a small piece of hardware that plugs into a computer or other electronic device, typically to provide additional functionality or to enable a software application. Common types include USB dongles for security, software licensing, Bluetooth connectivity, or wireless internet access. What is the largest internal human organ? Liver. The liver is a vital organ performing various metabolic functions, including detoxification, protein synthesis, and the production of biochemicals necessary for digestion. It is considered the largest internal organ in the human body by weight and size. A new holy thorn tree was planted in 2012 in which Somerset Town, to replace the one damaged by vandals in 2010. Glastonbury. Glastonbury, a town in Somerset, England, is famous for its historical and mythical associations, including the legend of the Holy Thorn. The original Holy Thorn tree is believed to have grown from the staff of Joseph of Arimathea. Its replacement in 2012 highlights the town's enduring cultural significance. The first passenger fare-paying railway service was established in which European country in 1807? Wales. The first fare-paying passenger railway service in Europe was the Oystermouth Railway, also known as the Swansea and Mumbles Railway, which began operations in Wales in 1807. This marked an early milestone in the development of public transportation and railway networks. The Marylebone Cricket Club, MCC, was formed in which century? 18th century. The Marylebone Cricket Club, MCC, founded in 1787, is one of the oldest and most influential cricket clubs in the world. Based at Lord's Cricket Ground in London, it was historically the governing body of cricket and remains responsible for the laws of cricket. Pan American World Airlines offered the first commercially scheduled Boeing 747 service from John F. Kennedy Airport to which British Airport in 1970? London Heathrow Airport. The Boeing 747, a revolutionary wide-body airliner, made its first commercial flight on January 22, 1970, with Pan American World Airways. The flight, from New York's John F. Kennedy Airport to London Heathrow Airport, inaugurated a new era of mass air travel. Trypanophobia is the irrational fear of which medical procedure? Injection. Trypanophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an extreme and irrational fear of injections or hypodermic needles. The term is derived from the Greek words, trypano, meaning puncturing or boring, and phobos, meaning fear. A diamondback is what type of creature? Snake. A diamondback typically refers to a type of rattlesnake, specifically the eastern diamondback rattlesnake, Crotalus adamantius, or western diamondback rattlesnake, Crotalus atrax. These venomous pit vipers are native to North America and are known for their distinctive diamond-shaped patterns on their scales. Kwame Nkrumah became the first president of which country in 1960? Ghana. Kwame Nkrumah was a pivotal figure in the decolonization of Africa and a leading advocate for Pan-Africanism. He led Ghana, formerly the Gold Coast, to independence from British rule in 1957 and became its first president in 1960, a year often referred to as the Year of Africa, due to widespread independence movements. In which year did the first car-carrying hovercraft cross the English Channel? 1968. The first car-carrying hovercraft to cross the English Channel was the Senior N4 Feet Princess Margaret, operated by British Rail Hovercraft Limited in 1968. This marked a significant advancement in transportation technology, offering a new high-speed ferry service for both passengers and vehicles across the channel. Sport pottery is made in which European country? England. Spode is a historic English brand of pottery and porcelain, founded by Hosier Spode in 1770 in Stoke-on-Trent, England, a region famous for its ceramics industry. It is renowned for its innovations, including the development of bone china and distinctive blue and white transferware patterns like Blue Italian. Which London theatre has a thatched roof? Globe Theatre. The Globe Theatre is a renowned Elizabethan playhouse in London, famously associated with William Shakespeare. While the current structure is a modern reconstruction, it features a distinctive thatched roof, a unique architectural detail for a public building in London today, reflecting its historical design. Before he became US President, Barack Obama was a senator of which state? Illinois. Barack Obama served as a U.S. Senator representing the state of Illinois from 2005 until 2008. His time in the Senate was a critical period in his political career, laying the groundwork for his historic election as the 44th President of the United States. In Greek mythology, Diomedes is the owner of which man-eating animals? Horses. In Greek mythology, Diomedes, the king of the Bistones in Thrace, was famously known for his 4 man-eating horses. Heracles' 8th labor involved capturing these ferocious animals, a task that underscored the hero's strength and cunning. Bovidae ovis is the scientific name for which animal? Sheep. Ovis aries is the scientific name for domestic sheep, placing them within the Bovidae family, which includes cattle, goats, and antelopes. Scientific nomenclature, using a genus and species, provides a universal and unambiguous way to classify and identify organisms. The Capo and Laguna Blanca national parks are located in which South American country? Argentina. Capo National Park is a protected area in the Santiago del Estero province of Argentina, known for its Chaco ecosystem. Laguna Blanca National Park, located in Neuquén province, is famous for its high-altitude lake and diverse bird life, including flamingos. What is the anatomical term for the dot positioned over lowercase I or j? Tittle. The small distinguishing mark, such as a dot or diacritic, that is part of a letter is called a tittle. Specifically, it refers to the dot above the lowercase letters I and j in many Latin script alphabets. Which French president officially inaugurated the Pompidou Center in Paris in January 1977? Valéry Giscard d'Estaing. Valéry Giscard d'Estaing, the president of France from 1974 to 1981, officially opened the Centre Georges Pompidou. This iconic cultural institution, designed by Renzo Piano and Richard Rogers, houses a vast public information library, the Musée National d'Art Moderne, and a center for music and acoustic research. The color sepia derives its name from the pigment obtained from the ink sac of which marine cephalopod? Cuttlefish. Sepia is a reddish-brown color named after the rich brown pigment derived from the ink sac of the common cuttlefish. This natural pigment was historically used as an ink and as a watercolor pigment, known for its distinctive tone in photography and art. A gastrectomy involves the surgical removal of which organ from the human body? Stomach. A gastrectomy is a surgical procedure involving the partial or complete removal of the stomach. This operation is typically performed to treat conditions such as stomach cancer, severe ulcers, or morbid obesity. The United States' Ramstein Air Base is located in which European country? Germany. Ramstein Air Base is a United States Air Force installation in Germany, serving as the headquarters for the United States Air Forces in Europe, Air Forces Africa, USAF-EAF-AFRICA. It is a crucial hub for NATO operations and logistics in Europe. What is the term for the small leather boxes, also known as phylacteries, worn by Orthodox Jewish men on their head and arm during weekday morning prayers? Tefillin. Tefillin are a set of small black leather boxes containing parchment scrolls inscribed with specific verses from the Torah. Worn by Orthodox Jewish men during weekday morning prayers, they symbolize the binding of oneself to God's commandments and serve as a physical reminder of faith. Which brothers invented the hot air balloon? Jacques and Joseph Montgolfier. The Montgolfier brothers, Jacques Etienne and Joseph Michel, were pioneers in aviation, credited with inventing the first practical hot air balloon. Their first public demonstration of a manned flight occurred in 1783, marking a significant milestone in human history. Pitkin County is located in which U.S. state? Colorado. Pitkin County is a county located in the U.S. state of Colorado. Its county seat is Aspen, a renowned ski resort and popular tourist destination known for its natural beauty and outdoor activities. Lady Day, also known as the Feast of the Annunciation of the Blessed Virgin Mary, occurs in which month? March. Lady Day, or the Feast of the Annunciation, is a Christian feast commemorating the announcement by the Archangel Gabriel to the Virgin Mary that she would conceive and become the mother of Jesus. It is traditionally observed on March 25, 9 months before Christmas. Omphalophobia is the irrational fear associated with which specific body part? Navel, belly button. Omphalophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of navels or belly buttons. Like other phobias, it can cause significant distress and anxiety in affected individuals. Which chemical compound is represented by the formula hydrogen sulfide? Hydrogen sulfide. Hydrogen sulfide, H2S, is a colorless, highly poisonous, flammable gas with a characteristic rotten egg smell. It is formed during the anaerobic decomposition of organic matter and is commonly found in natural gas, crude petroleum, and volcanic gases. Who composed the 1924 musical piece, Rhapsody in Blue? George Gershwin. George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue is a seminal work blending classical music with jazz elements, commissioned by Paul Whiteman for his An Experiment in Modern Music concert in 1924. It remains one of the most iconic American musical compositions of the 20th century. What is the capital city of the Isle of Man? Douglas. Douglas is the capital and largest town of the Isle of Man, a self-governing British Crown dependency located in the Irish Sea. It serves as the island's primary economic and administrative centre. In which year was Scotland and England formally united by the Acts of Union? 1707. The Acts of Union of 1707 united the Kingdom of England and the Kingdom of Scotland into a single unified kingdom called Great Britain. This significant historical event led to the abolition of both the English and Scottish parliaments, establishing a new Parliament of Great Britain. Which modern-day country was formerly known as British Honduras? Belize. Belize was a British colony known as British Honduras from 1862 until it gained self-governance in 1964 and full independence in 1981. This transition is a key example of decolonization in the Caribbean region. The Abu Simbel temples are located in which African country? Egypt. The Abu Simbel temples are two massive rock-cut temples in southern Egypt, near the border with Sudan, on the western bank of Lake Nasser. Carved during the reign of Pharaoh Ramesses II in the 13th century BC, these UNESCO World Heritage Sites are renowned for their monumental size and intricate carvings depicting religious and historical scenes. Which month of the year was the 9th month of the Roman calendar? November. In the original Roman calendar, which began in March, November, derived from novem, meaning 9 in Latin, was indeed the 9th month. The addition of January and February at the beginning of the year later shifted November to its current position as the 11th month in the Julian and Gregorian calendars. In which year was the Berlin International Film Festival first held? 1951. The Berlin International Film Festival, also known as the Berlinale, was first held in 1951 in West Berlin. It is one of the world's most prestigious film festivals, alongside Cannes and Venice, and is renowned for its diverse selection of films and its focus on cultural exchange and social commentary. Which island in the US was known as Oyster Island? Ellis Island. Ellis Island is a historical site in New York Harbor, famously serving as the busiest immigrant inspection station in the United States from 1892 to 1954. Before its official designation and role as an immigration hub, the island was informally known as Oyster Island due to the abundance of oysters found in its surrounding waters. Norwegian omelette is another name for which dessert? Baked Alaska. The dessert known as Norwegian omelette is more commonly called baked Alaska, which features ice cream and sponge cake topped with meringue. The meringue acts as an insulating layer, protecting the ice cream from melting when the dessert is briefly baked at high temperatures to brown the meringue. What type of creature is a fordy? Bird. A fordy is a genus of small passerine birds belonging to the weaver family, Plosiadae. These birds are native to islands in the Indian Ocean, particularly Madagascar and the Comoros, and are noted for the bright breeding plumage of the males. The 1703 Methuen Treaty was a military and commercial treaty between Britain and which other European country? Portugal. The Methuen Treaty, signed in 1703, was a significant military and commercial agreement between England, later Great Britain, and Portugal. It established a strong political and military alliance against France during the War of the Spanish Succession and also created favorable trade conditions, primarily exchanging English woolens for Portuguese wines. The Avesta is the book of sacred writings in which religion? Zoroastrianism. The Avesta is the principal collection of sacred texts of Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. It comprises hymns, gathas attributed to the prophet Zarathustra, prayers, liturgical materials, and mythological narratives, forming the foundational scripture for Zoroastrian beliefs and practices. Central Park is in which borough of New York City? Manhattan. Central Park is an iconic urban park situated in the heart of the Manhattan borough of New York City. Designed by Frederick Law Olmsted and Calvert Vaux, this expansive park opened in 1857 and serves as a major recreational, cultural, and ecological landmark, influencing urban park design globally. Who was elected as Mayor of London in May 2012? Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson served as the Mayor of London for 2 terms, from 2008 to 2016. His tenure as mayor was a significant phase in his political career before he became the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. In which year was the betting duty abolished in Britain? 2001. The UK's betting duty was abolished in 2001 and replaced with a tax on the gross profits of betting companies. This fiscal policy change aimed to modernize taxation in the gambling sector and enhance competitiveness. What were the first names of American novelist J.D. Salinger? Jerome David. J.D. Salinger, whose full name was Jerome David Salinger, was a reclusive American writer best known for his influential 1951 novel, The Catcher in the Rye. His works often explored themes of alienation and coming of age, making him a significant figure in 20th century literature. 18th century anatomist Anna Manzolini was an expert at making anatomical models from which material? Wax. Anna Manzolini, 1714 to 1774, was a celebrated Italian anatomist and wax modeler. She was highly skilled in creating detailed and lifelike anatomical wax models, which were crucial educational tools for medical students and researchers in an era before advanced imaging techniques. How many red stripes are there on the national flag of Thailand? 2. The national flag of Thailand, known as the Tom Trarong, consists of 5 horizontal stripes in the colors red, white, blue, white, and red. The 2 red stripes symbolize the land and its people, with the central blue stripe representing the monarchy. Which fish are traditionally used to make stargazy pie? Pilchards. Stargazy pie is a traditional Cornish dish from England, uniquely recognized for having whole pilchard heads protruding through the pastry crust. This distinctive presentation is said to allow the fish oils to drain back into the pie during cooking, enhancing its flavor and moisture. What herb is associated with alliumphobia, a specific fear? Garlic. Alliumphobia is the specific phobia characterized by an intense, irrational fear of garlic. Phobias are a type of anxiety disorder defined by a persistent and excessive fear of an object or situation. Which was the initial major battle of the English Civil War, occurring in October 1642? Battle of Edge Hill. The Battle of Edge Hill, fought on October 23, 1642, was the first pitched battle of the English Civil War between the royalist forces of King Charles I and the parliamentarian army led by the Earl of Essex. Although tactically indecisive, it marked the beginning of large-scale military engagements in the conflict. In medical terminology, which anatomical part of the body is affected by stomatitis? Mouth. Stomatitis refers to any inflammation of the mucous lining of the mouth, which can involve the gums, tongue, lips, and inner cheeks. It can be caused by various factors, including infections, allergies, or underlying medical conditions. Which chili pepper is recognized as one of the world's hottest, with a Scoville rating exceeding 2 million units? Trinidad Moruga scorpion. The Trinidad Moruga scorpion was once recognized as the world's hottest chili pepper, with Scoville heat units, SHU, over 2 million. The Scoville scale measures the pungency of chili peppers, quantifying the concentration of capsaicinoids, the chemical compounds responsible for their heat. What is considered the most recently written book among those included in the New Testament of the Bible? The Book of Revelation. The Book of Revelation, also known as the Apocalypse of John, is generally considered the last book written in the New Testament canon, likely composed around 95 AD. It is a highly symbolic and prophetic text dealing with the ultimate triumph of good over evil. The French word, chevex, refers to which part of the human body? Hair. Chevex is the French word for hair, specifically referring to the hair on a person's head. Understanding basic foreign language terms can be part of broader general awareness. What is the title of the inaugural novel published by the renowned English author Jane Austen? Sense and Sensibility. Sense and Sensibility, published anonymously in 1811, was Jane Austen's first published novel. It explores the lives and loves of the Dashwood sisters, Eleanor and Marianne, contrasting their approaches to life based on sense, reason, and sensibility, emotion. Who was the first person to report seeing craters on the moon using a telescope? Galileo. Galileo Galilei, an Italian astronomer, was the first to use a telescope for astronomical observations in the early 17th century. His groundbreaking observations included the mountainous and cratered surface of the moon, challenging the prevailing belief in a perfectly smooth celestial sphere and marking a pivotal moment in the history of science. In which year did British monarch Queen Victoria celebrate her Diamond Jubilee? 1897. Queen Victoria celebrated her Diamond Jubilee in 1897, marking 60 years on the throne. This event was a grand celebration of the British Empire at its zenith, showcasing its global power and influence. Her reign, lasting 63 years and 7 months, was the longest of any British monarch until surpassed by Queen Elizabeth II. American millionaire Leonard Jerome was the maternal grandfather of which British Prime Minister? Winston Churchill. Leonard Jerome, an American businessman and financier, was the maternal grandfather of Winston Churchill. Churchill, a prominent British statesman, served as Prime Minister during World War II, leading Britain to victory. His American lineage through his mother, Jenny Jerome, highlights his transatlantic connections. Which bird has the poetic name, halcyon? Kingfisher. The kingfisher is poetically known as Halcyon, a term derived from Greek mythology. In the myth, Alcyon, daughter of Aeolus, transforms into a kingfisher, and her father calms the winds for 7 days around the winter solstice for her to lay eggs. This led to the idiom, halcyon days, signifying a period of peace and tranquility. Brownsea Island is off the coast of which English county? Dorset. Brownsea Island is located in Poole Harbour, Dorset, England. It is historically significant as the site of the first experimental scout camp in 1907, organized by Robert Baden-Powell, which is considered the genesis of the worldwide scouting movement. What is the title of the Milius painting used to advertise Pears soap? Bubbles. Bubbles is a renowned oil painting by Sir John Everett Milius, completed in 1886. The painting gained widespread recognition after it was acquired by A&F Pears Limited and subsequently used in their advertising campaigns for Pears soap, becoming an iconic image associated with the brand. El Prat Airport serves which European city? Barcelona. Barcelona El Prat Airport, BCN, is the international airport serving the city of Barcelona in Catalonia, Spain. It is Spain's second busiest airport and a major hub for air travel connecting passengers to various European and international destinations. Dorothea Jordan was the mistress of which future British monarch? William IV. Dorothea Jordan was a prominent Irish actress who became the long-term mistress of Prince William, Duke of Clarence, who later ascended to the throne as King William IV of the United Kingdom. Their relationship, which produced 10 illegitimate children, was a notable aspect of early 19th century British royal history. What was the first name of the 17th century artist Van Dyck? Anthony. Sir Anthony Van Dyck was a Flemish Baroque painter who became the leading court artist in England. He is particularly celebrated for his elegant portraits of King Charles I, his family, and members of his court, establishing a distinctive style that influenced English portraiture for centuries. A splat is a single thin, flat piece of wood, often ornamental, which forms part of which piece of furniture? Chair. In furniture design, a splat refers to a vertical, flat, and often decoratively carved piece of wood or other material that forms part of the backrest of a chair. It provides both structural support and aesthetic appeal, connecting the chair's seat to its top rail. Spud is slang for which vegetable? Potato. Spud is an informal or slang term for a potato. The origin of this term is somewhat debated but has been in common usage since the 19th century, particularly in British and American English. What is the fruit of a rose bush called? Rosehip. The fruit of a rose bush is known as a rosehip. These small, typically red-orange, berry-like structures are formed after successful pollination and are particularly rich in vitamin C, often used in herbal teas, jams, and medicinal preparations. Who were the children of U.S. President John F. Kennedy? Caroline, John, and Patrick. John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, had 3 children with Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, Caroline Bouvier Kennedy, John F. Kennedy Jr., and Patrick Bouvier Kennedy. Patrick died shortly after birth. This question tests knowledge of significant historical figures and their families, which is relevant for historical and political awareness. On which part of the body is a shako typically worn? Head. A shako is a tall, cylindrical military cap, typically featuring a visor and often adorned with a plume. It was commonly worn by infantry regiments in the 19th and early 20th centuries as part of their uniform, designed to be worn on the head. A gourmandizer is a person who engages in what activity to excess? Eating. A gourmandizer refers to an individual who habitually eats food excessively or with great greed. The term implies an insatiable appetite or a tendency to overindulge in culinary consumption. If something is described as preocular, it is situated in front of which part of the body? Eye. The term preocular combines the Latin prefix pre, meaning before, or in front of, with ocular, which pertains to the eye. Therefore, anything designated as preocular is located or positioned anterior to the eye. This is a concept found in anatomical and medical terminology. Who authored the 1890 play, Hedda Gabler? Henrik Ibsen. Hedda Gabler is a renowned play written by the prominent Norwegian playwright Henrik Ibsen, first published in 1890. Ibsen is widely regarded as one of the founders of modernism in theatre, and Hedda Gabler remains one of his most celebrated works, known for its psychological depth and societal commentary. What is the common name for the flower with the Latin botanical name, Alsia rosea? Hollyhock. Alsia rosea is the scientific name for the common garden flower known as hollyhock. Scientific nomenclature, using Latin or Latinized names, provides a universally recognized system for classifying species, preventing ambiguity caused by regional common names. From which animal's milk is brinza cheese typically made? Sheep. Brinza is a traditional sheep's milk cheese originating from Slovakia, Poland, and Romania, among other Central and Eastern European countries. It is known for its strong, salty, and crumbly texture, making it a distinctive culinary product. In the British Army, which rank is positioned between lieutenant and major? Captain. In the British Army's officer hierarchy, a captain is a junior officer rank, typically responsible for commanding a company or a similar unit. This rank signifies a level of leadership and experience above a lieutenant but below a major. The wolf moon is the name of the full moon which occurs during which month of the year? January. The wolf moon is the traditional name for the first full moon of the year, occurring in January. It is named after the howling of hungry wolves heard more frequently at this time of year in North America, often due to food scarcity. In which century was the office of Black Rod created for the House of Lords in England? 14th century. The gentleman usher of the Black Rod, commonly known as Black Rod, is an official of the British Parliament. The office was created in 1350, during the 14th century, to serve the monarch and the House of Lords by maintaining order and carrying messages. The name of which animal derives from the Native American word for, he who kills with one leap? Jaguar. The word, jaguar, comes from the Tupi-Guarani word, yagora, meaning, he who kills with one leap. Jaguars are known for their powerful build and exceptional hunting prowess, often ambushing prey with a single, deadly leap. Rock Paper Scissors is the title of an exhibition which opened in London's Waddington Custard Galleries in November 2012 in celebration of the 80th birthday of which British artist? Sir Peter Blake. Sir Peter Blake is a prominent English pop artist, best known for co-designing the sleeve for the Beatles' album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The Rock Paper Scissors exhibition celebrated his 80th birthday in 2012, showcasing his diverse artistic contributions and influence on contemporary art. Who wrote the 1932 novel, Tobacco Road? Erskine Caldwell. Tobacco Road is a 1932 novel by American author Erskine Caldwell, depicting the impoverished tenant farmers of rural Georgia during the Great Depression. It became a successful Broadway play and later a film, highlighting the harsh realities of poverty and social struggle in the American South. In which year was drug testing first introduced in the Summer Olympic Games? 1968. Drug testing was officially introduced at the Summer Olympic Games in 1968 in Mexico City by the International Olympic Committee, IOC. This crucial decision marked the beginning of systematic efforts to combat doping and ensure fair play in international sports competitions. Who became British Prime Minister on November 1990? John Major. John Major succeeded Margaret Thatcher as the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in November 1990. He led the Conservative Party and served as Prime Minister until 1997, overseeing a period of economic recovery and social reforms. Jamaica Inn is in which English county? Cornwall. Jamaica Inn is a historic coaching inn located on Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, England. It is famously associated with Daphne du Maurier's 1936 novel of the same name, a tale of smugglers and wreckers inspired by the inn's remote and atmospheric location. What is a female hedgehog called? Sow. A female hedgehog is commonly referred to as a sow, while a male is called a boar, and a young hedgehog is known as a hoglet. This terminology for female animals is shared with several other species, including pigs and guinea pigs. During which month of the year are the US presidential elections held? November. US presidential elections are constitutionally mandated to be held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November every 4 years. This tradition dates back to the 19th century, chosen partly to avoid harvest season and harsh winter weather. What color shirts did the Italian fascists wear under the leadership of Benito Mussolini? Black. The black shirts, camicie nere, were the paramilitary wing of the National Fascist Party in Italy. Their black uniforms became a powerful symbol of the fascist movement, representing discipline, authority, and mourning for the fallen. Which US city was named after Saint Francis of Assisi? San Francisco. San Francisco is named after Saint Francis of Assisi, the founder of the Franciscan order, whose followers established a mission there in 1776. The name reflects the Spanish colonial influence and the religious evangelization efforts in California. Which bird lays the largest eggs? Ostrich. The ostrich lays the largest eggs of any living bird, typically measuring about 15 centimeters, 6 inches, in length and weighing around 1.4 kilograms, 3 pounds. This adaptation supports the development of a large precocial chick, an important biological fact. Who authored the 1817 novel, Northanger Abbey? Jane Austen. Northanger Abbey is a satirical novel by Jane Austen, published posthumously in 1817. It critiques Gothic novels and explores themes of social commentary and youthful naivety, characteristic of Austen's literary style. Bertha and Bernie is a 1961 painting by which British artist? David Hockney. Bertha and Bernie is an early work by the renowned British pop artist David Hockney, painted in 1961. Hockney is celebrated for his significant contributions to the pop art movement and his distinctive, vibrant style. Banjul is the capital city of which African country? Gambia. Banjul serves as the capital city of the Gambia, the smallest country in mainland Africa. Located on St. Mary's Island where the Gambia River meets the Atlantic Ocean, it is the country's economic and administrative center. The Althing is the national parliament of which country? Iceland. The Althing, Alþingi, is the national parliament of Iceland, renowned as one of the oldest parliamentary institutions in the world, tracing its origins back to 930 AD. It continues to function as the legislative body of the modern Icelandic Republic. Sheppey and Canvia Islands in which English river estuary? River Thames. The Isle of Sheppey and Canvey Island are significant islands located within the Thames estuary in England. The Thames estuary is a major tidal inlet where the River Thames meets the North Sea, crucial for navigation and biodiversity. In which country is Lake Chapala? Mexico. Lake Chapala is the largest freshwater lake in Mexico, located southeast of Guadalajara. It is an important ecological site, providing water resources and supporting diverse flora and fauna. Conglomerations of frozen ice crystals which fall through the Earth's atmosphere are commonly known as what? Snowflakes. Snowflakes are individual ice crystals, or conglomerations of ice crystals, that precipitate from clouds. They form when supercooled water droplets freeze around a dust particle in the atmosphere, growing as they accumulate more water vapor. Juan Velasco Alvarado became president of the revolutionary government in October 1968 in which South American country? Peru. Juan Velasco Alvarado led a military coup in Peru in 1968, establishing the revolutionary government of the armed forces. His regime implemented significant land reforms and nationalization policies, impacting Peru's socio-economic landscape for over a decade. In the human body, which teeth are known as the cutting teeth? Incisors. Incisors are the four front teeth in both the upper and lower jaws of humans, totaling 8. Their primary function is to bite into and cut food, due to their sharp, chisel-like edges. Apart from a clan, what is another collective term for a group of hyenas? Cackle. A cackle is an alternative collective noun for a group of hyenas, alongside a clan. Hyenas are carnivores native to Africa and Asia, known for their distinctive vocalizations and social structures. In Britain, the top layer of a wedding cake was traditionally saved after a wedding for what? Christening of the couple's first child. This tradition in Britain involved preserving the top tier of a wedding cake, often a fruit cake, to be served at the christening of the couple's first child. This practice symbolized good luck and fertility, connecting significant family milestones. Which Chicago building was formerly known as the Sears Tower? The Willis Tower. The Sears Tower, once the tallest building in the world, was renamed the Willis Tower in 2009 after Willis Group Holdings obtained the naming rights. Located in Chicago, Illinois, it remains a prominent architectural landmark. Which planet in our solar system has a white cloud pattern in its atmosphere nicknamed Scooter? Neptune. Scooter was a prominent white cloud feature observed in the southern hemisphere of Neptune by the Hubble Space Telescope. This rapidly moving cloud provided valuable data on the atmospheric dynamics and high winds prevalent on the ice giant planet. Scapa Flow is a body of water in which Scottish island group? Orkney Islands. Scapa Flow is a natural harbour located within the Orkney Islands archipelago off the northern coast of Scotland. It holds immense historical significance as the principal base for the Royal Navy during both World War I and World War II. The world's first nuclear bomb was detonated in 1945 in which US state? New Mexico. The world's first nuclear bomb, code-named Gadget, was detonated on July 16, 1945, at the Trinity site in New Mexico. This event marked a pivotal moment in history, leading to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki and the dawn of the nuclear age. Who served only 119 days as British Prime Minister in 1827, before dying of pneumonia? George Canning. George Canning was a prominent British statesman who served as Prime Minister for a brief period in 1827. His short tenure was cut short by his death due to pneumonia, making him one of the shortest-serving Prime Ministers in British history. What is the basic currency of Laos? Kip. The kip is the official currency of Laos, a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. It is issued and managed by the Bank of the Lao PDR and is a key indicator of the nation's economic structure. In mathematics, how many sides does a rhombus have? 4. A rhombus is a quadrilateral with all four sides of equal length. Its opposite angles are equal, and its diagonals bisect each other at right angles, distinguishing it from other quadrilaterals like squares and rectangles. Which Nazi war criminal was officially charged with war crimes in February 1983? Klaus Barbie. Klaus Barbie, known as the Butcher of Leon, was a notorious Gestapo officer during World War II, responsible for numerous atrocities. After decades as a fugitive, he was extradited from Bolivia to France in 1983 and subsequently convicted of crimes against humanity. In medicine, what does obstetric relate to? Pregnancy, childbirth. Obstetrics is the branch of medicine concerned with the care of women during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postnatal period. It encompasses maternal health, fetal development, and the safe delivery of infants. Mungo National Park is in which Australian state? New South Wales. Mungo National Park is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the Willandra Lakes region of New South Wales, Australia. It is renowned for its significant archaeological discoveries, including the ancient remains of Mungo Man and Mungo Lady, providing insights into early human history in Australia. The 1914 poem, The Soldier, was written by which English poet? Rupert Brooke. Rupert Brooke was an English poet known for his idealistic war sonnets written during the First World War. The Soldier, published in 1914, is one of his most famous works, encapsulating a patriotic and romantic view of dying for one's country. The oil tanker Exxon Valdez ran aground off which U.S. state in 1989? Alaska. The Exxon Valdez oil spill occurred on March 24, 1989, when the oil tanker Exxon Valdez struck Bligh Reef in Prince William Sound, Alaska. It was one of the largest environmental disasters caused by a tanker spill, releasing approximately 11 million gallons of crude oil and causing extensive damage to the marine environment. Independence Day is celebrated in Panama during which month of the year? November. Panama celebrates its Independence Day on November 3, commemorating its separation from Colombia in 1903. This event marked the establishment of the Republic of Panama, aided by the United States to facilitate the construction of the Panama Canal. A phoebe is what type of creature? Bird. A phoebe is a type of small, insectivorous passerine bird belonging to the genus Phaeones within the tyrant flycatcher family, Pteranidae. These birds are native to North and South America and are known for their distinctive tail-wagging behavior. Who defeated Edward Heath in 1975 for the leadership of the British Conservative Party? Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher defeated Edward Heath in the 1975 Conservative Party leadership election, becoming the leader of the opposition. This victory paved her way to becoming the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom in 1979, ushering in an era of significant political and economic reform. Which political leader married Austrian Archduchess Marie-Louise in 1810? Napoleon I. Napoleon I, Emperor of the French, married Marie-Louise of Austria in 1810 after divorcing Empress Josephine. This strategic marriage aimed to secure an heir and strengthen his alliance with Austria, a major European power at the time. In humans, Ritter disease affects which part of the body? Skin. Ritter disease, also known as staphylococcal scalded skin syndrome, SSSS, is a severe skin infection primarily affecting infants and young children. It is caused by toxins produced by certain strains of Staphylococcus aureus, leading to blistering and peeling of the skin. Which French philosopher and mathematician has been dubbed the father of modern philosophy? René Descartes. René Descartes was a seminal French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist. His work, particularly Discourse on the Method and Meditations on First Philosophy, laid the groundwork for much of subsequent Western philosophy, earning him the title Father of Modern Philosophy due to his emphasis on rationalism and systematic doubt. Xyrophobia is the irrational fear of which grooming items? Razors. Xyrophobia is a specific phobia characterized by an intense and irrational fear of razors. Like other phobias, it can cause significant distress and avoidance behavior, impacting daily life. What is the long, loose garment, covering the whole body, worn by some Muslim women? Burqa, barqa. The burqa is a traditional outer garment worn by some Muslim women, particularly in certain regions, that covers the entire body from head to foot, often with a mesh screen over the eyes. It is a symbol of modesty and cultural identity for those who choose to wear it, though its use is a subject of varied interpretation and debate globally. Getulio Vargas served as president of which South American country for 15 years from 1930? Brazil. Getulio Vargas was a dominant figure in Brazilian politics, serving as president for two periods, 1930 to 1945 and 1951 to 1954. His first term, often referred to as the Vargas era, saw significant social and economic changes, marking a pivotal period in Brazil's modernization and political development. An escalor is what type of creature? Fish. An escalor refers to a type of fish. While escalor itself isn't a common or formally recognized scientific name for a distinct fish species, it could be a regional or archaic term, or a misspelling for related terms like escola, a type of snake mackerel. Fishes are aquatic, gill-bearing animals lacking limbs with digits, and form a diverse group of vertebrates. The United Arab Republic, operational from 1958 to 1961, was a political union between which two nations? Egypt and Syria. The United Arab Republic, UAR, was a short-lived sovereign state in the Middle East formed in 1958 by the union of Egypt and Syria. It was primarily an attempt to create a pan-Arab state, but political disagreements led to Syria's secession in 1961, though Egypt continued to use the name until 1971. On which part of the body is a tabi, a traditional Japanese sock, typically worn? Foot. Tabi are traditional Japanese socks with a separation between the big toe and the other toes. They are designed to be worn with zodi, gita, and other traditional Japanese footwear, making them an important part of Japanese traditional attire. What is the name of a slow, stately dance, typically performed by couples in triple time, popular in the 17th and 18th centuries? Minuet. The minuet is a social dance of French origin for two people, usually in three-quarters time. It was a prominent dance form in Baroque music and courtly balls, characterized by its dignified and elegant movements. Harare is the capital city of which African country? Zimbabwe. Harare is the most populous city and capital of Zimbabwe, located in the northeast of the country. It serves as the primary administrative, commercial, and communication hub of Zimbabwe. Mescaline, a hallucinogenic alkaloid, occurs naturally in several species of which plant? Cactus. Mescaline is a naturally occurring psychedelic protalkaloid of the phenethylamine class, found in certain species of cacti, most notably Peyote, Lophophora williamsi. It has been used for centuries in indigenous religious ceremonies for its psychoactive effects. Who announced their resignation as the leader of the British Labour Party in October 1980? James Callaghan. James Callaghan, who served as Prime Minister from 1976 to 1979, resigned as leader of the Labour Party in October 1980 following their defeat in the 1979 general election. Michael Foot subsequently succeeded him as party leader. Assamese cuisine, characterized by its distinct flavors and cooking methods, originated in which country? India. Assamese cuisine is the traditional food of Assam, a state in northeast India. It is characterized by minimal use of spices, strong flavors from fresh herbs, and a focus on fermentation and the use of locally sourced ingredients. Introduced in the 19th century in Britain, what were penny black and penny red? Postage stamps. The penny black, issued in 1840, was the world's first adhesive postage stamp. Its introduction, along with the penny red, revolutionized postal services in Britain by standardizing payment and making mail more accessible, significantly impacting communication and commerce. The Great Flag Debate took place in which country in 1964? Canada. The Great Flag Debate was a significant political discussion in Canada in 1964 regarding the design of a new national flag. It ultimately led to the adoption of the iconic maple leaf flag, replacing the Canadian red ensign and symbolizing a distinct Canadian identity. Ometophobia is the irrational fear of which part of the body? Eyes. Ometophobia is the intense and irrational fear of eyes. It is a specific phobia, and individuals experiencing it may exhibit symptoms like anxiety, panic attacks, and avoidance behaviors when exposed to eyes. Who was Vice President to US President Jimmy Carter? Walter Mondale. Walter Mondale served as the 42nd Vice President of the United States under President Jimmy Carter from 1977 to 1981. He was a prominent figure in American politics, known for his progressive policies, and later ran for president in 1984. Which river separates New York City from New Jersey? The Hudson River. The Hudson River is a 315-mile, 507 kilometers, river that flows primarily through eastern New York, forming a natural boundary between New York City and New Jersey. It is a significant waterway for trade, transportation, and ecological health in the region. Which British writer coined the phrase, "Youth is wasted on the young"? George Bernard Shaw. The famed Irish playwright and Nobel Prize laureate, George Bernard Shaw, is widely credited with coining the poignant phrase, "Youth is wasted on the young." This expression highlights the irony that the exuberance and opportunities of youth are often not fully appreciated or utilized until one gains the wisdom of age. St. Andrew's Day, the patron saint of Scotland, falls in which month of the year? November. St. Andrew's Day is observed on November 30th annually and celebrates St. Andrew, the patron saint of Scotland. It is a national holiday in Scotland, marked by various cultural events and festivities, highlighting Scottish heritage and identity. What type of foodstuff is a rambutan? Fruit. Rambutan, Nephilium lapaceum, is a tropical fruit native to Southeast Asia, closely related to the lychee and longan. It is characterized by its hairy red skin and translucent, sweet flesh, and is a good source of vitamin C and dietary fiber. What type of bird is the marabou? Stork. The marabou stork, Leptoptylos chromenifer, is a large wading bird found in sub-Saharan Africa. Known for its distinctive bare head and large bill, it is primarily a scavenger, playing an important ecological role in consuming carrion. Albion is the oldest known name for which nation? Great Britain. Albion is the oldest known name for the island of Great Britain, used by ancient Greek and Roman writers. The name is believed to derive from the Latin word, albus, white, possibly referring to the White Cliffs of Dover, and is often used in poetic or archaic contexts. How is SOS represented in International Morse code? 3 dots, 3 dashes, 3 dots. SOS is the internationally recognized Morse code distress signal, formally adopted in 1908. It is represented as 3 short signals, 3 long signals, and 3 short signals, chosen for its simplicity and unambiguous nature to prevent misinterpretation. Which bird features on the national flag of Papua New Guinea? Bird of Paradise. The national flag of Papua New Guinea features a Ragiana bird of paradise, Paradisea ragiana, in gold, depicted in flight. This bird is a national emblem, symbolizing the country's unique biodiversity and cultural heritage, set against a background of black, red, and yellow, which represent traditional colors. In which body of water is the Isle of Man located? Irish Sea. The Isle of Man is a self-governing British Crown dependency situated in the Irish Sea, approximately equidistant from England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales. Its strategic location has historically made it a significant maritime hub and a unique cultural crossroads. How many mythical creatures represent years in the Chinese zodiac? 1. The Chinese zodiac features 12 animals, with the dragon being the only mythical creature among them. These animals cycle through a 12-year period, each representing distinct personality traits. Who was the first British sitting MP to appear on a television reality show? George Galloway. George Galloway, a prominent British politician, appeared on Celebrity Big Brother in 2006 while serving as a sitting member of Parliament. This appearance generated significant media attention and debate regarding the conduct of elected officials. The asteroid belt lies roughly between which 2 planets in our solar system? Mars and Jupiter. The asteroid belt is a torus-shaped region in the solar system, located roughly between the orbits of the planets Mars and Jupiter. It contains a vast number of irregularly shaped bodies called asteroids, which are remnants from the early formation of the solar system. During which month in 1666 did the Great Fire of London rage for 4 days? September. The Great Fire of London occurred from September 2 to September 5, 1666, devastating much of the city. It started in a bakery on Pudding Lane and, aided by strong easterly winds, rapidly spread through the wooden buildings. How many stations are on the Glasgow subway rail system? 15. The Glasgow subway, opened in 1896, is the third oldest underground metro system in the world, after London and Budapest. It operates a circular route with 15 stations, serving various areas of Glasgow. Stermutation is the medical term for which involuntary action in humans? Sneezing. Stermutation, more commonly known as a sneeze, is a semi-autonomous expulsion of air from the lungs through the nose and mouth. It is typically caused by irritation of the mucous membranes of the nose, aimed at expelling foreign particles. A riffy is what type of creature? Fish. Riffy refers to a type of deep-sea fish, most notably the orange riffy. These fish are known for their long lifespans, sometimes exceeding 100 years, and inhabit deep waters of the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. In 1921, Edith Cowan was the first woman elected to any parliament in which country? Australia. Edith Cowan's election to the Western Australian Legislative Assembly in 1921 marked a significant milestone for women's political representation globally. Her pioneering role demonstrated the growing influence of women in public life and advanced the cause of gender equality in governance. Mount Manaslu is in which South Asian country? Nepal. Mount Manaslu is the 8th highest mountain in the world, standing at 8,163 meters, 26,781 feet, above sea level. It is located in the Mansiri Himal range of the Nepalese Himalayas and is a prominent peak for mountaineers. Hyperemesis gravidarum is severe what in females? Morning sickness. Hyperemesis gravidarum, HG, is an extreme form of nausea and vomiting during pregnancy, significantly more severe than typical morning sickness. It can lead to severe dehydration, weight loss, and electrolyte imbalances, often requiring hospitalization and medical intervention. Which gas is used to make the bubbles in fizzy drinks? Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, CO2, is a colorless, odorless gas commonly used in the food and beverage industry to create the effervescence in carbonated drinks. When dissolved under pressure, it forms carbonic acid, contributing to the drink's taste and characteristic bubbles upon depressurization. Juan Evo Morales Ayma became president of which South American country in 2006? Bolivia. Evo Morales served as the president of Bolivia from 2006 to 2019, becoming the country's first indigenous head of state and its longest-serving president. His presidency was marked by significant social and economic reforms aimed at reducing poverty and redistributing wealth. The Ngultram is the basic currency of which Asian country? Bhutan. The Ngultram, BTN, is the official currency of Bhutan, a landlocked country in the eastern Himalayas. It is pegged at par with the Indian rupee, INR, and both currencies are accepted as legal tender within Bhutan. In 1897, Theodore Herzl became the first president of the political form of which movement? Zionism. Theodore Herzl is widely recognized as the father of modern political Zionism, advocating for a Jewish state in Palestine. He organized the first Zionist Congress in Basel, Switzerland, in 1897, establishing the World Zionist Organization. Commemorating the Battle of Stalingrad, what is the name of the statue in the Russian city of Volgograd? The Motherland Calls. The Motherland Calls is a monumental statue in Volgograd, Russia, dedicated to the heroes of the Battle of Stalingrad during World War II. It is one of the tallest statues in the world and a powerful symbol of the Soviet people's resilience and sacrifice. Which is the only US state to begin with the letter D? Delaware. Delaware is one of the smallest states in the United States, located in the Mid-Atlantic region. It is historically significant as the first state, being the first to ratify the U.S. Constitution on December 7, 1787. Ben Macdui is part of which European mountain range? Cairngorms. Ben Macdui is the second highest mountain in Scotland and the entire United Kingdom, situated in the eastern Scottish Highlands. It is a prominent peak within the Cairngorms mountain range, known for its extensive Arctic alpine plateau and subarctic habitats. Sherborne Castle is in which English county? Dorset. Sherborne Castle is a historic stately home and its extensive gardens located in the county of Dorset, England. Originally built by Sir Walter Raleigh in 1594, it stands near the ruins of an older, medieval Sherborne Castle, offering a glimpse into centuries of English history. In Greek mythology, who was given ass's ears by Apollo for preferring, in a contest, the music of Pan to that of Apollo? King Midas. The myth of King Midas's ass's ears is a classic tale from Greek mythology, illustrating the consequences of poor judgment and hubris. Apollo, the god of music, punished Midas for his foolish preference in a musical contest, replacing his ears with those of a donkey. Which plant has the Latin name Ribes rubrum? Red current. Ribes rubrum is the scientific Latin name for the red currant, a member of the Ribes genus. This binomial nomenclature is a standardized system used in biology to name species, ensuring clarity and universality in scientific communication. What is the name of a surface weather condition in a snow-covered area in which no object casts a shadow, and only dark objects can be seen? Whiteout. A whiteout is a severe weather condition characterized by diffused light, often caused by overcast skies over a uniform snow surface. This phenomenon results in a complete loss of depth perception and orientation, making navigation extremely difficult and hazardous in polar and high-altitude regions. Which plant, used as a herb, is also known as barbed wire grass? Lemongrass. Lemongrass, Cymbopogon citratus, is a widely used culinary and medicinal herb known for its distinct citrusy aroma. It's often referred to as barbed wire grass due to the appearance of its long, thin leaves. Which institution, based in Northern Ireland and founded in 1796, has a name which is a tribute to the Dutch-born Protestant King of England, Ireland and Scotland? Orange Order, Lodge. The Orange Order is a Protestant fraternal organization predominantly based in Northern Ireland, founded in 1795. It commemorates King William III, also known as William of Orange, who secured the Protestant succession to the English throne. The original motto of which organization was, "Amidst war, charity." Red Cross. The International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement is a humanitarian organization dedicated to protecting human life and health. Its original motto, Inter Arma Caritas, amidst war, charity, encapsulates its foundational mission to provide aid during armed conflicts. Which chemical element has the symbol Pt? Platinum. Platinum is a dense, malleable, ductile, highly unreactive, precious, silvery white transition metal. Its chemical symbol, Pat, is derived from its Spanish name, platana, meaning little silver. Which ancient European period came before the Iron Age? Bronze Age. The Bronze Age is a prehistoric period characterized by the widespread use of bronze, urbanization, and early writing systems. It chronologically preceded the Iron Age, which marked the adoption of iron as the primary metal for tools and weapons. What is the name of a person who forges and shapes iron with an anvil and hammer? Blacksmith. A blacksmith is a craftsperson who works with wrought iron or steel by forging them, using tools such as an anvil and hammer. This ancient craft was historically vital for producing tools, weapons, and various metal items. What is the name of the unofficial accolade given to passenger liners crossing the Atlantic Ocean in regular service with the record highest speed? The Blue Riband. The Blue Riband is an unofficial honor awarded to the passenger liner that achieves the fastest transatlantic crossing in regular service. It became a prestigious symbol of speed and technological prowess in maritime history during the 20th century. How old was playwright William Shakespeare when he died? 52. William Shakespeare, the renowned English playwright and poet, died at the age of 52 on April 23, 1616. He is widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's preeminent dramatist. The heliocentric model is a theory that places which object as the center of the universe? The Sun. The heliocentric model, proposed by Nicolaus Copernicus in the 16th century, posits that the Sun is the center of the solar system, with the Earth and other planets revolving around it. This model fundamentally challenged the geocentric view that had prevailed for centuries. What is the most traded commodity in the world? Crude oil. Crude oil is consistently the most heavily traded commodity globally, playing a critical role in the world's energy supply and economy. Its price fluctuations significantly impact geopolitical stability and economic growth across nations. Southern Indian Lake is in which country? Canada. Southern Indian Lake is a large lake in northern Manitoba, Canada, located on the Churchill River. It is the fourth largest lake in Manitoba and plays a significant role in the local ecosystem and hydroelectric power generation. In which year did color television begin broadcasting across Australia? 1975. Color television broadcasting officially began in Australia on March 1, 1975. This transition marked a significant milestone in Australian media and technology, enhancing the viewing experience for audiences nationwide. What type of creature is a Kentish glory? Moth. The Kentish glory, Andromus versicolora, is a large, distinctive species of moth found in parts of Europe and Asia. Known for its striking appearance and early spring emergence, it is a significant species for lepidopterists. Great train robber Ronald Biggs spent over 20 years in which country before returning to Britain? Brazil. Ronald Biggs, a notorious participant in the 1963 Great Train Robbery, famously escaped from prison in 1965 and lived as a fugitive in Brazil for over 20 years. He voluntarily returned to the UK in 2001 due to ill health, where he was re-imprisoned. The Battle of the Little Bighorn was fought in which US state? Montana. The Battle of the Little Bighorn, also known as Custer's Last Stand, was fought on June 25–26, 1876, near the Little Bighorn River in eastern Montana Territory. It was a significant engagement during the Great Sioux War of 1876, where Lakota, Northern Cheyenne, and Arapaho warriors decisively defeated elements of the U.S. Army's 7th Cavalry. How many digits do frogs typically have on their back feet? 5. Frogs generally possess 5 digits on their back feet, which are webbed for efficient swimming and powerful jumping. Conversely, their front feet typically have 4 digits. This anatomical structure is crucial for their locomotion in both aquatic and terrestrial environments.